I have one page left in my Etch-a-Sketch book. I've also got the front cover, but let's just ignore that for now. I have one page. This is the portrait in question. I did really thick yellow colour pencil that won't rub off about a year ago. We're gonna try and paint over it and hopefully it'll look okay, and then the sketchbook will be done. It'll be done. Let's get going.
Yeah.
I thought I'd best hop in now and explain why I decided to do such a yellow face. I don't tend to do this with watercolour, but obviously it's common practice with gouache, but I decided to do a bit of toning on the paper because the yellow colour pencil was pushed down very hard and it was probably going to be there right till the end. I decided to do a bit of a yellow underpainting because I felt like maybe the piece would look more cohesive if both the paint and the pencil are yellow. The reason I pushed down so hard with the yellow colour pencil is because it was to do with a style that I was trying out. I painted a piece called The Red Woman, which I'll show you on the screen now, and I absolutely loved this so much. And then I painted a man in a similar style with a blue colour pencil, which I also turned into a video, which I'll link on the screen now and down below. This painting didn't turn out as well as the first one that I did, but I still absolutely loved the style and I felt like I might have found my art style when I did this. I think personally I do really like the style, but I think I cared too much about everyone else's opinions at the time. I had showed my friends, my family, and I'd shared it on social media, and nobody else really liked the style like I did. And unfortunately that put me off, but I mean obviously it can put you off when you're trying to find your art style and lots of people don't like it, because part of being an artist is selling your art online and doing commissions, and if nobody likes the style then you're really gonna struggle. So when I sketched this portrait over a year ago, I think it was supposed to be in that kind of style. But you know, there was a purpose a year ago. I've just forgotten what that purpose was. I blended two reference photos together to try and sketch this piece, and I didn't have either of them at the time of painting this. I'd also completely forgotten what my plan was for this piece. Was it going to be wet on wet, wet on dry? What was the background going to be? I had forgotten all of that. I had completely sketched this piece over a year ago and then it just left my mind completely. I couldn't remember what my plan was at all, so I just kind of had to wing it. I think one of the biggest things that I'd noticed whilst painting this was that the sketch is not how I would currently sketch people. The face is kind of facing forward, but it is at a slight angle, and the eyes and the lips don't represent that. The eyes and the lips look like they were facing forward, and they're just not completely accurate. It's quite interesting though, because I hadn't noticed that the way that I sketch faces had changed until I started working on this piece and realised that there's a lot of things I would have done differently. There are some positives to going into a piece with absolutely no plan. I mean, for starters, it means that you can just completely have fun and make up ideas as you go along. Because this was the final page in my sketchbook and I just wanted it completed, I really didn't care about the outcome. I didn't have an idea in mind. I just kind of wanted to finish it. So I got to experiment a lot with, you know, the yellow undertone to begin with, and then the way that I added colours, the way that I added the blush and blended it out, the way that I added the purple into the hair. I got to experiment and try out some new techniques, and for that, this piece was really quite fun. Obviously, the negatives to starting a piece with absolutely no plan is it doesn't turn out very accurate. Yes, I don't currently have the reference photos to be able to compare, but I can kind of tell by looking at it that I don't think it's anatomically correct. And because I didn't have the reference photos, I also wasn't sure where the shadows would sit on the face, and I think that also shows. I really got to experiment with this painting, with adding vibrant colours straight onto skin tones and seeing what would happen, and I feel like I did learn a lot from it. I haven't actually painted a portrait in this kind of style in so long. This is the style that I used to do, and now it's a lot more flowy. And I did miss a lot of the wet on wet effects that I like. I tend to prefer that with watercolour. I find wet on wet more fun. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of the video now and see if you can spot the vibrant colours I added to the skin straight from the pan.
To be selfish with you, I only want to see the truth. I want to eliminate the unnecessary. My vision's never been so clear. You've arrested my all the focus is on you. It doesn't matter what's around us, 'cause baby you've got me blind to all those other people. Resting my head on your shoulder, you're keeping a tight grip on me. We're wrapped up in honey, that's so bittersweet. Is this too good to be true? You've arrested my attention. All the focus is on you. It doesn't matter what's around us, 'cause baby you've got me blind to all those other people.
It is done! The Etch-a-Sketchbook is done, finally! I have waited so long for this day. It's my longest running sketchbook and I'm sick of it. I'm gonna be adding watercolour to this. It's just gonna be like a big old blend, probably. But yeah, it's all done. Thank you for joining me on this journey to finally complete my sketchbook. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please like and subscribe if you did, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye bye!